It damages your brain. Research shows that losing sleep affects the hippocampus, the part of your brain that controls learning and memory. When sleep is lost over long periods, the risk of Alzheimer's and other neurological diseases rises.
Between school, sports, work, and a social life, who is able to get a full 8 hours of sleep each night? Sometimes it's not even the time you have to sleep, but instead poor quality of sleep due to stress. Sleep is very important, especially for teenagers, so what if I say there's actually a way to fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up the next morning feeling well rested and ready for the day? First, let's talk about why we care so much about sleep. Losing sleep won't just make the brain feel tired, it is also about brain function, physical health, and mental health. According to the CDC, teens need 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night, but 73% of us don't get that. Consequences to this include lower memory retention, high risk of depression and anxiety, a weaker immune system, and slower reaction times. In order to play sports, perform well in school, and have overall good mental health, getting a good night's sleep needs to be important.
For insomnia, fear, and wakefulness. When we are fearful, our nervous system is activated. This makes it harder to sleep, and it is a completely normal human response. This situation usually resolves when the fear has gone. When the cause of your fear has resolved, then wakefulness goes away, and it becomes easy to sleep again. But when we believe that this shouldn't be happening, and we think, oh no, I shouldn't be awake, then our brain has misidentified wakefulness as a threat. Wakefulness produces fear. And now the circle is complete. Fear produces wakefulness, and wakefulness produces fear in an ongoing cycle. But insomnia is driven by a misunderstanding because wakefulness is not dangerous and doesn't require a fear response. By teaching the brain that it's okay to be awake, we can break the cycle. And once this cycle is broken, peaceful sleep can return.
Insomnia is a common sleep disorder characterized by difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up too early and feeling unrested. Insomnia can become a dangerous cycle, which, according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, 12% or 40.8 million people in America suffer from. Insomnia can start with stress. This can come from school, sports, friends, or family. This stress leads to arousal. This arousal leads to not sleeping. Not sleeping leads to more stress, and the cycle continues. Once you are stuck in the cycle of insomnia, it can control your life. Your brain produces wakefulness, which can also be feared. When you know you should be sleeping because of something important and you are not, you gain more fear, which leads to more wakefulness. When your every day-to-day life is affected by your sleep schedule, a change needs to be made. This is where prescription sleep aids like Lunesta come into play. So what exactly is Lunesta? Lunesta is a doctor-prescribed medication for people with serious trouble sleeping. It is designed to help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling refreshed. Lunesta is the brand name for esopicolone, a prescription medication used to treat insomnia. It belongs to a class of drugs known as non-benzodiazepine hypnotics, also classified as Z-drugs. It has been FDA approved since 2004. Lunesta works by interfering with neurotransmitters in your brain that control sleep, mainly GABA, which is a chemical that calms your nervous system. Taking Lunesta helps slow down brain activity, making it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. Let's take a closer look. According to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Strokes, chemicals called neurotransmitters can switch off or dampen the activity of cells that signal wakefulness. This is shown in the relaxed brain pictured with very little activity in the brain as it is preparing for sleep. However, compared to the insomniac's brain, there is still much activity when preparing for sleep. This activity is what prevents people with insomnia from falling asleep or staying asleep throughout the night. This video demonstrates the activity of neurotransmitters during sleep.
Complete sleep cycle, stages 1 through 4, and REM lasts approximately 90 minutes and occurs 4 to 5 times a night. GABA levels steadily increase during the first couple hours of sleep, plateau, and then steadily decline before waking. Conversely, orexin levels steadily decrease during the first couple of hours of sleep, plateau, and then steadily increase before waking. acetylcholine levels fluctuate throughout the sleep cycle, reaching their lowest levels during stage 4 sleep and peaking during REM sleep. Dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin, and histamine levels demonstrate a different trend. They peak during stage 2 sleep and are at their lowest during REM sleep.
With insomnia, norepinephrine and epinephrine keep the brain in a heightened state of alertness, preventing the onset of sleep. When taking Lunesta, the activity of the GABA neurotransmitter is increased, which decreases arousal and allows you to fall asleep. GABA is a naturally occurring amino acid and the primary neurotransmitter in the human brain. It acts as a chemical messenger, blocking the signals in the central nervous system and producing a calming effect. Disruption to GABA signaling are implicated in seizure disorders, anxiety, and insomnia. Lunesta works by bonding the brain's GABA receptors, leading to an increase of the amount of GABA in the brain. This enhances the sleepiness feeling and allows to fall asleep quicker and stay asleep longer. Benefits to taking Lunesta include falling asleep within 30 minutes, sleeping a full 7 to 8 hours, feeling mentally sharp the next morning, and feeling less anxious overall. The AAFP Foundation ran a study on those treated with Lunesta, and according to the study, after 1 week of therapy, Lunesta-treated patients fell asleep a mean of 37 minutes faster, had 0.6 fewer nighttime awakenings, and slept 50 minutes longer than placebo-treated patients. Sleep quality, next day daytime ability to function, daytime alertness, and sense of physical well-being were also improved. Lunesta is not to be used for slight sleeping issues. It is a sedative for diagnosed sleeping disorders like insomnia. You are not able to buy it over the counter, which means it must be prescribed by a doctor. It should also be used for short term. It is not a long-term solution. Make sure to follow the doctor's protocol when using Lunesta for the best results. In summary, when dealing with sleeping issues like insomnia, choosing Lunesta may be right for you. Lunesta has a longer half-life of about 6 hours compared to other sleeping medications. This means it will stay in your system longer to prevent nighttime awakenings. It is also FDA approved, making it a safe option for people with onset insomnia or people with middle-of-the-night awakenings. Lunesta also comes in multiple strengths and is available in 1 mg, 2 mg, and 3 mg. This allows for flexible dosing based off what you need as a person. Every person is different and has different needs when it comes to medication. Being able to match your dosage and personal needs is a great benefit to be able to make the most out of life. Also, since Lunesta is a non-benzodiazepine, also known as a Z-drug, it will have fewer side effects related to memory or dependence. Minimal side effects is imperative to living the best quality of life, and Lunesta will help you do that.